for Coach Teresa Grentz and the Fighting Illini includes Katie Coleman, a sophomore who is shooting 43% from three-point range and lit up Providence for 32 points earlier this year. She joins Parker, Sheeler, Vasey, and Taja Catchings. And head coach Teresa Grentz, an incredible turnaround in just her third season, had the Fighting Illini in the Sweet 16 last year. 41-25 at Illinois, but more impressive, the 500 career wins after a great career with the Rutgers. The third-plus starting lineups for Tennessee and head coach Pat Summitt includes the heart and soul of this club, Kelly Jolly, a junior from Sparta, Tennessee, set a Final Four record in last year's NCAA tournament with 20 assists in the 2 wins over Notre Dame and Old Dominion. And Pat Summitt, unparalleled in women's college basketball and one of the best ever with 5 NCAA titles, number 2 all-time in career wins for the women. And Tennessee ranked atop the USA Today ESPN Top 25 Coaches Poll after that 9-0 start, followed by ODU and UConn, a couple of more unbeatens. Louisiana Tech, Illinois rounding out that 5. Carolina, Texas Tech, Vanderbilt.
Pose a guess at who that might be.
One of the big stories tonight will be the Catchings girls playing against one another. Taja, the sophomore at Illinois, 12-8-5 her numbers. Tamika, the freshman at Tennessee, and one of the favorites for freshman of the year nationally. Tamika's numbers 15-8. And 45% from three-point land.
That's the C word is going to be a very big key for this Illinois team, and that's composure. They're going to have to handle the pressure that Tennessee throws at them. Tennessee is a full-court pressure team, a transition team this year because of the abilities and talents that they have with this freshman class.
Tennessee in white, Illinois in blue. Tamika Catchings. The pass to Kyra Elzy for the bucket. The other big story for Illinois, their All-American candidate, Ashley Berggren, not in the starting lineup tonight. She starts out over on the Illinois bench.
And after watching the way she played in that State Farm Tip-Off Classic, that is rather shocking. And I think that's what Teresa Grentz may be trying to achieve, is the shock element here to get Ashley Berggren back on track. She didn't have an outstanding game against Southwest Missouri State. And this is one of the ways to get your players' attention.
Taja Catchings in traffic, taken away by Elzy. This is a swarming Tennessee defense that gets to the other end of the floor very quickly. Rebound, Melissa Parker. Catchings, pull-up jumper is good. And she's come out pretty aggressive on the offensive end the first couple of trips down the floor.
Yeah, her reputation has always been one of a defensive stopper, but she's had to, at Illinois, improve her offensive output, and she's done a very nice job of it. I think she even enjoys it now on the offensive end.
Over the back foul will be called on Shamiqua Holslaw, crashing the boards. That's the first on the All-American, 2-time All-American from Astoria, New York.
You saw Illinois play Old Dominion very tough in that Tip-Off Classic. And the thing that was most impressive to me was their fundamentals and the basic things that they did so very well.
Number 23 with the ball, Melissa Parker, has only played a couple of games this year due to an injury. She will play a pivotal role today as Coleman is fouled by Kelly Jolly. So a couple of whistles against Tennessee early on.
Pat Summitt talked in practice today with her team about not allowing this to be a half-court game. They mentioned that those post players for Illinois are as good as anybody in the country if you allow them to operate from the block.
Sheeler can't get it to go. Vasey's shot won't drop. Both Illinois and Tennessee very good rebounding teams. And the foul will go against the Fighting Illini. That's the first on Sheeler.
The most impressive thing that Teresa Grentz has done during her tenure, short tenure at Illinois, is to instill a sense of confidence in these players. She has them believing that they can do anything. And you saw she's the 7th winningest coach in women's basketball right now. A great motivator, always has been.
Catchings on the drive, scoops it up and in. That's why they're so excited about that freshman here in Knoxville. Sheeler, turn around over Stevens. That won't go. And Tamika Catchings will push the other way. She'll go all the way. Lays it up, around and out. Now Taja Catchings. Nice crossover. Fadeaway doesn't go. Here comes Chamique Holdsclaw. Tennessee definitely has to like the pace here early on.
Every one of those Tennessee players are interchangeable. You saw Chamique Holdsclaw just now at the point position. You can put any of them in any position, and they do just fine.
They really have eliminated the guards, the forwards, and the centers.
I think that's by design, that their new up-tempo and full-court pressure is designed to prevent teams from getting into a half-court game and from utilizing their post.
Sheeler is fouled by LaShonda Stevens. That is her first personal.
You want to talk about a player not playing like a freshman? Look at the composure and the presence of mind that Tamika Catchings has. Takes the ball with the left-handed dribble and then passes it over to her right hand for the finger roll.
He is going to be a special player here for the Lady Vols as Sheeler goes to the line. Becoming obvious, too, what Illinois' intentions are as they have gotten the ball inside every trip down the floor.
Sheeler is just a blue-collar worker. There's no better way to describe her. Does a really good job of positioning herself down low, and she's so strong.
Sheeler gets 1-2. Holdsclaw will pull up for the jumper and hit. First basket for the U.S. national team member this past summer. Catchings pass taken away by Holdsclaw. Nice no-look feed to Stevens. That shot doesn't drop. Catchings all over the glass. Sheeler comes away with it.
This game for Illinois, Beth, is just another step in their learning curve of how to win the big games. They went to Southwest Missouri State. It's not really a surprise that they lost there. That is such a tough place to play. They've got a great fan base, great support there, and they are a very legitimate team this year.
They've got a terrific freshman there as well, and Jackie Stiles, as Parker is fouled on the drive. That will go against Kyra Elzy, her first.
Teresa Grentz talked about having to teach his team how to win the big game. Well, this is a good way to do it. Take them to Southwest Missouri State, one of the toughest places to play. Take them to Thompson Bowling Arena, tough place to play, and let them know what it feels like to have everybody in the arena cheering against you, and see what you can do against that. That way, when it comes time for the NCAA tournament, you've got all that experience to draw upon.
Quick release from Melissa Parker. She cans the three as Berggren is in the lineup now for Illinois, and Shamika Randall is on the floor for Tennessee. Chamique Holdsclaw drains another one.
Oh, man, have you ever seen such a pure jump shot?
Just drops so smoothly through the net. And the foul will be out on top.
Look at the elevation. I'm sorry, Beth. Look at the elevation and the form of Chamique Holdsclaw. Great elevation, takes the shot just at the peak of her jump, and the follow-through. No touch of that rim.
Sweet shot from Holdsclaw. That last foul, by the way, charged to Illinois' Melissa Parker. Holdsclaw is loving it.
I'm having fun on the court. They bring a lot of energy to this team, and I'm out there, doing my thing and trying to get them involved, and it's just a lot of fun.
When we were talking to Chamique earlier, Beth, I just mentioned the freshman, and this smile breaks out all over her face.
Ironically enough, she's only taking a couple of shots less per game than she did a year ago, but Tennessee knows they don't have to go to her every trip down the floor, and another foul on Tennessee, and this will now be number 2 on Holdsclaw.
As the ball goes up and Holdsclaw is trying to get position, she is behind the player and really didn't look like there was any body contact, and you can tell by her reaction that she definitely doesn't agree with the call. Make no mistake about it, they may have help this year, but they still need Chamique Holdsclaw on the floor. And 2 quick fouls is not a good sign.
They need her to be smiling more than grimacing. Krista Ranking, number 25, now on the floor. She has also started some games this year for Illinois. Berggren in trouble, double team. Pass picked off by Randall. And Berggren took a shot to the mouth as Vasey was also down on the floor.
Let's see if that motivational tactic by Teresa Grentz by not starting Ashley Berggren does anything to light the fire. She's playing with great intensity right now.
That was the first foul on Vasey. Berggren knocks the ball away from Samika Randall.
Great intensity and great hands. One of the things that impressed me when we saw her play against Old Dominion was the use of her hands. She is so quick and is able to touch the ball a lot to disrupt her offensive player.
Randall has it knocked away, but the whistle. Sally Bell, June Courteau, and Nan Sisk are officials. And that is the first on Berggren.
I talked about her quick hands. In all likelihood, that was not a foul. Her hands are so quick, but a lot of times when players come down on top of the ball, instead of trying to come from the bottom and go up to deflect the ball, the referee will call a foul. So you've got to be careful at how you approach trying to get a hand on it.
A couple more freshmen have checked in for Tennessee. They now have 4 rookies on the floor. Teresa Jeter and Kristen Clement are now in the game, joining Randall and Catchings. Randall blocked by Sheeler. Jeter keeps it alive and then throws it right to Berggren.
4 freshmen and a sophomore, I might add, Beth. Not a lot of years out there.
Not bad for the 2-time defending champs.
Oh, nice pass.
Sheeler blocked by Elsie, but the second opportunity is good. We're tied at 8, 14-10 to go in the first half. Number 1 Tennessee and 5th-ranked Illinois, and the offensive foul. Randall pushing off on Berggren.
They seem to really be calling this closely. You can tell this isn't a regular SEC matchup because there's usually blood by now. Pat doesn't really. Pat, this is still non-conference. They're going to call it a little closer. Terrible call. You can read her lips and hear her.
Well, you know the officials are at least consistent when both coaches are griping. Berggren fighting for the loose ball. It comes down to Ranking. Catchings. Jump shot is good. Taja Catchings now has 4 and has really worked hard on improving her offensive skills this year.
Well, I'll tell you what's a great sign for Illinois in this game is that Taja Catchings is really looking to be an offensive threat. She's normally more timid, and that could be another reason why Teresa Grentz didn't start her, is that she wants the other players not to rely on Ashley Berggren. You see Tamika Catchings trying to get position on Vasey. Vasey doing a nice job of getting around to deny and defend. Berggren coming from behind and clearly fouling.
Back now, 2 fouls on Berggren. Clemens pass taken away by Sheeler. Coleman goes up and under and draws the foul on Jeter. That's the first on Teresa Jeter, the freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. ESPN is proud to present the Heisman Trophy presentation tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, presented by Wendy's. Will it be Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson? Find out tomorrow night on ESPN. Coleman misses on the first free throw attempt. Known as the three-point shooter on this Illinois team, averaging 12 points a game.
She made the All-Big Ten freshman team last year, started 9 games for this Illinois team.
She was a high school teammate of the Catching sisters when they were at Stevenson High School in Illinois, won a state championship with them. Another smooth jumper from Chamique Holdsclaw.
There really is no way to go one-on-one against Chamique Holtzclaw and hope to stop her. There isn't anybody in the country that can do that. You've got to throw at least another body on her, and sometimes 3.
Sheeler, air ball, and she will hear it from the crowd here at Thompson Bowling Arena. The Fighting Illini have accomplished 1 goal already, Mimi, and that is to hang tough in the early going.
I like their composure and their shot selection. 2 of the keys that Teresa Grentz told us about. They're getting good looks. They're taking the right shots. It's tough with that Tennessee pressure that they put on you, even in the half court.
This has been a Tennessee team that has been able to wear people down later in the game. Clement long on the 3-point attempt. Catchings. Vasey is there for the putback. Nicole Vasey with her first basket. Illinois by 3. This is Tamika Catchings. Holtzclaw. Rebound, Kaja Catchings. Ranking handling with Samika Randall all over her. Catchings to Vasey, in trouble in the paint. She is whistled for the walk. 5th turnover on the Fighting Illini. And with 11:39 to go in the first half, we'll take a break. 13-10, Illinois. 3 of 4 from the floor early on.
She's shooting 75%. Her team, as a team, only shooting 39%.
And a traveling violation out top, whistled against Kyra Elzy. 5 Tennessee turnovers.
The most impressive thing about this Illinois team to me, Beth, is the fact that they aren't intimidated by anybody or anything.
I think a lot of that is instilled probably by their coach, Teresa Grentz. They pick up another bucket in the paint.
Let me tell you something. If you ever saw her play in college, if they come by it natural. You know where they get it from. Teresa Grentz was, let's just say, feisty.
That is the 2nd personal on Alicia Sheeler, 5th on the team. Grentz knows a thing or two about knocking off top-ranked teams as well. But look at her fair share of big wins during her career.
Look at her sporting all those medals and stuff on that jacket, too, Beth. I'll tell you what. I wonder if she earned those or if that's just fashion.
She has certainly earned a lot of them in her day. Misty Green now on the floor. And Kelly Jolly is back out top. Samika Randall, 3-pointer doesn't go. Illinois doing a good job on the glass. 11-6 now. They lead in that category. Ranking in trouble, has picked up her dribble. And through the hands of Nicole Vasey, out of bounds. Catchings going right by Sheeler. Holtzclaw's jumper is good. She now has 8.
Tennessee can throw so many different looks at you. They have such depth because of the talent and the composure, once again, of their freshman class. They get to throw a whole lot of different looks.
Offensive foul called on Sheeler, and that's a big whistle. That is her 3rd.
The big advantage that Illinois has in this game is their post. Alicia Sheeler being the primary post for this team. I do not think she had position at all. That was a bad call, in my opinion.
I would agree, and a tough one for Sheeler. That's her 3rd. Looked like Misty Green slid underneath her. Catchings working in the paint. Hacked on the play. Will go to the line.
The other thing about Tennessee's depth that kills you is in the second half of the game when they're still full court pressing and running and everything else and putting the kind of pressure in the half court against you, your legs are probably not as strong as theirs if you don't have the kind of depth they have.
Where's the oxygen mask? Tamika Catchings to the free throw line. 72% shooter from the stripe.
I had an opportunity to see Tamika Catchings play last year for her Duncanville team, and it was clear that she was playing a different game than everybody else on the floor. She was outstanding, to say the least.
A couple of years at Stevenson High in Illinois, then a couple of years with Duncanville in Texas. She won state championships in both states, and she was Miss Basketball in both states during the course of her career.
She did mention to us today that the best time she had was at Stevenson because of being able to play with her sister for that state championship.
They are terrific friends as well as sisters, which you love to see. They couldn't wait to see one another earlier today when both the teams were here for shoot-around. Casey Leonard, number 55, is in the game for Illinois. And Parker back to run the point.
Oh,
good
nice
ball movement. Leonard basket, she'll go to the line.
Tasha Catchings is in a zone tonight. She's doing a great job on the board. She's aggressive offensively. That was just about a touch pass. She knew where her teammates she knew inside that she had Lenhart free. Didn't hold on to it at all. And talk about some emotion. Yeah, I'd say so. I think she cares about this game a little bit.
I would say you're right. And of course, you always worry that if someone's got too much at stake emotionally. What a pretty feed. Randall goes to the hoop. Catchings comes away with it. And she is caught from behind by Randall. So I was about to say, so much emotionally involved as Holtzclaw's off on the shot. You hope that Tamika and Taji don't try and do too much. And so far, they have not.
I'll tell you, with the situation with Ashley Berggren, Tasha Catchings can't do too much offensively. Somebody has to take up the slack on the offensive end, and there she is, trying to create.
Didn't get that one to go.
Still the right move to make.
Holtzclaw. Misty Green, long-range three. That's her specialty. Illinois. Katie Coleman baseline. And the foul will go against Misty Green of Tennessee. That's her first personal.
Illinois has to take the opportunity when they have it like this to really catch their breath. At any dead ball, they've got to take some deep breath to be able to keep their legs strong to contend with this pressure.
Big smile from Tasha Catchings as she heads out of the game.
She knows she's doing well.
Illinois able to take advantage of the lack of depth in the post by Tennessee so far.
Hey, Beth, I got to tell you a little bit about Katie Coleman. In reading the notes about her, she mentioned that her favorite music comes from Pearl Jam, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and James Taylor. Now, what kind of an eclectic collection is that? How does James Taylor fit into this?
She likes a little bit of everything. A wide range of musical taste. And right now, she is helping Illinois to the 7-point lead over the top-ranked Lady Vols. And Vasey almost came up with the steal, called for the foul. 2 on Vasey, 2 on Berggren, 3 on Shearer.
Teresa Grant trying to school Sally Bell a little bit on the fine art of calling a game. These two coaches have to be on the all-look team. If looks could kill the two of them,
Could stare right through them.
they are definitely on that team.
Holtzclaw misses the front end. And Samika Randall again finds a way to come away with a loose ball. Randall, this little stutter step up and under the other side. Doesn't get it to go. Misses don't get much prettier than that one, though. Parker Parker again able to handle the pressure. Nice feed to Berggren. Gets the roll.
Let me just comment on the gutsy move by Teresa Grentz to start Melissa Parker. She was not a starter. To come into an arena like this, in a situation like this, and start Parker, only a sophomore, is a really gutsy move, and she is really stepping up to the challenge tonight. She has distributed the ball out to the free throw line. I think she wants to play.
That coach's box keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Just lace them up. Who's got her size out there?
Terrific coaches. They were also pretty good players in their day.
Oh, please. Pat Summitt, co-captain of the 76 Olympic team, first Olympic team that the women had. First time they had women's basketball in the Olympics, 1976. Billy Moore, the coach.
Tennessee shooting just 30% here in the first half. Berggren in traffic, taken away by Jeter. Randall one-on-one, spinning away from Parker, misses the chippy.
That's what you call a $1 million move and a nickel shot. Someday, though, that'll be $1 million shot combined with a $1 million move.
Second personal on Randall.
This is the kind of thing, and Pat Summitt talked to us today about how she's loosening the reins, and this surely is a sign of that with Tamika Randall. Look at that spin dribble. She sets herself and squares. I'm actually surprised she wasn't able to make that shot. Maybe she was dizzy.
Katie Coleman. 4 of 5 now is Coleman from the line. Just a 57% free throw shooter normally. 5 of 6, 5 points in the game. 6:55 to go in the first half. 24-13 Illinois. Used to have out in the driveway.
But I know that it's going to happen. I know that whether it be a pick or a switch or a breakaway and one's trying to stop the other, I know that, you know, there will be some situations where they will be going against one another. I think unlike they were when they were growing up, I think that they've matured to the point where they know that this is no longer the playground, so I think they'll keep it clean.
So far, Tarja Catchings with 6 points, and Tamika has 2, and Tarja's Fighting Illini. Right now, the biggest deficit Tennessee has faced all year.
In a situation like this, Beth, I'm not even sure that you know that's your sister out there. All you see are the different colored jerseys, and you know your teammates and you know your opponents. I'm not sure that you have the presence of mind to know that which one's your sister.
In fact, both of them, prior to the game, downplayed that and said it's actually Tennessee against Illinois. That's all we're worried about. Jeter loses it. And Melissa Parker comes away. Kyra Elzy knocking the ball out of bounds.
Teresa Grentz has to be happy with the development thus far. With Tennessee throwing so many different weapons at you, you almost think sometimes it might be too many weapons and there's no consistency.
Berggren, the no-look to Vasey, who can't convert. Here comes Tamika Catchings. Cutting through traffic, and she draws the blocking foul on Katie Coleman. That's the first on Coleman. Tennessee just 29%. Illinois doubling them up on the boards. And just 3 trips to the free throw line for Tennessee.
That's an amazing stat when you think that Tennessee is out-rebounding their opponents by an average of 12 rebounds.
Tamika Catchings back to the free throw line.
You know, when I talked about the too many weapons comment, sometimes you need to get the same group in there for a length of time where you can get some flow, some offensive continuity going.
5 now for Tamika Catchings. The crowd trying to get behind the Lady Vols defense. Instead, it's Berggren. They've got numbers. Again, can't convert on the layup. Berggren able to keep it alive.
If you looked at an Illinois shot chart right now, I guarantee that most of them would be from inside the paint. And that was their game plan.
Parker with a big 3.
Oh, she having the game of her life.
Second for Parker.
Teresa Grentz saw the reaction of Melissa Parker, and she just smiled and shook her head and waved at her like, go ahead, girl, you go.
Jeter back out to Catchings. Parker with a rebound. It's got to be a big challenge for her, knowing what she's up against and knowing that she's only played 2 games all year. She's left alone again, and instead it will be a foul on Nicole Vasey, who tried to impede Kyra Elzy from getting out defensively. That's the 3rd on Vasey, so now the inside players, Vasey and Sheeler, both with 3 fouls.
Beth, last year during the NCAA tournament, we talked about Tude being the theme, you know, attitude, and everybody thinking that they can beat anybody else. Well, you know what? Now Tude isn't the theme anymore because everybody has attitude. Everybody can beat anybody. Now I think this year the theme's going to be health and foul trouble. You need to be able to keep your players in the game, and I think more than anything, for all these top teams, that's going to be the key to their success.
Elzy gets 1. She's got 3. Coleman able to handle. Kaja Catchings back on the floor and left alone, gets the layup.
I'm a little surprised that there isn't more pressure on Parker and maybe a bigger guard guarding Parker so that she can't see the floor as well as she's seeing it. Kaja Catchings has really been the difference for Illinois offensively. Look at her. She wants the ball desperately, and Parker, because she's been able to see the floor well, has been able to distribute the ball well. Keep in mind that Melissa Parker's only 5'9". Think back to that championship game last year when Kyra Elzy was the one who guarded Tisha Penashero. And Kyra Elzy at 6'1" is a formidable opponent. Not just because of her quickness, but because of her height and her arm span, her wingspan. She prevented Tisha Penashero from seeing the floor. Melissa Parker hasn't had that same kind of pressure on her and is able to distribute because of it.
Elzy up for the rebound. Can't put it back. Knocked out of bounds by Tennessee. I think that's becoming something, Mimi, that every team is looking for now, is to have at least one big guard that you can
absolutely
stick on the point guard to cause all kinds of trouble. Catchings and Bergman playing catch. Back to Catchings, misses the jumper, and Elzy over the top of Berggren.
Ashley Berggren has a real sense of the game of basketball. She understands it very well, and she understands positioning very well. It doesn't matter whether she's trying to go for a shot or for a pass or position herself for the rebound. She just really does a nice job with that. I tell you, you put Ashley Berggren in a lineup for a pickup game, I'm not sure she's one of the first ones you'd take, but she is definitely one of the ones you'd want on your team at the end. She physically doesn't look like the kind of athlete and basketball player that she is. She is a legitimate All-American.
She is 3rd all-time in points scored at the University of Illinois. Has a beat on the top spot before the season is through. She's got 4 here today, but as you say, Mimi, it's not usually the stats that describe the job she does for this team.
No, and she provides the same kind of thing that Stephanie White provides for her team. Just a sense of calm and a sense of purpose for this Illinois team. When all else is crazy, it's Ashley Berggren who's keeping her head.
She had the rebound there. Catchings. Dribble penetration draws the defense. Berggren's jumper is good. 33-16, Illinois leading #1 Tennessee here in Knoxville.
That was an example of what I was talking about. Ashley Berggren at 5'10", took that shot over 6'1", Catchings.
LaShonda Stevens crashes the boards, has the second shot blocked by Leonard, rebound Katie Coleman.
Tennessee definitely disjointed. They've got to regroup. As we talked about in the first game, the best thing that can happen to Tennessee right now is halftime, because you know that Pat Summitt is going to lay down The strategy. The strategy.
We might just hear that out here courtside. We'll be back to Knoxville. Some shocking developments. Ashley Berggren in Illinois.
Ashley Berggren definitely has an understanding.
Catchings misses. Lenhardt's putback is good. 20-3 run.
Suffice it to say that Illinois has dictated the tempo here.
And a hush has descended over the crowd here at Thompson Bowling. Until that last whistle, anyway. The amazing thing, too, is that Illinois has done this without Sheeler, who's on the bench with 3 fouls. Tennessee just 23% from the floor.
And Illinois shooting well above their average for the year, which is 43% from the field.
Katie Coleman now with 7 points. The lead continues to grow. It's 21 for the Fighting Illini.
I'll tell you why Illinois' shooting percentage is so good. That's because their shot selection is good. They're getting great looks, most of them from inside the key.
And they are keeping the Lady Vols off the glass.
Don't get too happy, girls. There's a lot of basketball to play.
25-11 right now, the rebounding advantage for Illinois, and Berggren is fouled out top by Tamika Catchings. That is her first personal. And to see hundreds of extra hoop games night after night available on pay-per-view, check out ESPN Full Court. To order, call DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or contact your cable company for ESPN Full Court pay-per-view.
We talked about the learning curve for Illinois, trying to learn how to win the big game. Well, this is a definite position that they want to be in because they're up by so many. But now, the trick is keeping the intensity to maintain the lead. So many times, teams will get in a position like this, and halftime could be the worst thing that happens to Illinois if they let the air out of this excitement.
They say, can't we just keep playing? We don't want to stop right now.
You know, wouldn't it be great if you could opt for whether or not you really wanted to do halftime? Just keep going the extra 20.
Tennessee just 6 of 26 from the field in this first half. The Lee Jean halftime report coming your way momentarily. We'll join ESPN News Network with highlights of our first game, Purdue, Florida, and also the NBA, the Chicago Bulls, and the Charlotte Hornets. That's the Lee Jean halftime report at the intermission here in Knoxville.
Anybody taking this score off the ticker right now, I guarantee you they think it's a typo.
They must have got them backwards. Taja Catchings pass deflected out of bounds by Kyra Elzy. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. 38-17, number 1 Tennessee in trouble.
It's got to start with Tennessee's defense.
Catchings goes around Elzy. Scramble for the loose ball, and the foul will go against Illinois.
This foul situation is going to be a telling factor as we progress through this game. Illinois can ill afford to lose any of their key players. You can see the starting backcourt for both teams, and the lineup change for Illinois has made a tremendous difference. We talked about Melissa Parker having the game of certainly her season, if not her career tonight, and a gutsy move by Teresa Grentz, not only to start Parker, but not to start Ashley Berggren, their All-American candidate and leading scorer. It's paid dividends, though, because Berggren has come in fired up.
Absolutely.
And Parker is very grateful for the opportunity.
Well, Shamika Holtzclaw with 8 points leading the way for Tennessee, but most of those came early on. She's 4 of 7 from the field and just 1 free throw. Tamika Catchings at the line, the freshman from Duncanville, Texas.
The worst thing that can happen to a team that likes to run is to force them into a half-court game. This Tennessee team definitely likes to run, and especially with all the youth and the lack of inside power that they have, it plays to their strength. But then when you make them play in the half court with the youth involved, there's an impatience that settles in.
Now Tamika has 7 points, 38-19 Illinois. Tracking full court defense from Tennessee, handled again by the Illinois guards. Coleman left alone for 3. Off the mark. Rebound catcher. Kelly Jolly. Good recovery by Illinois. A kick. Oh, by Coleman. They will reset the 30-second shot clock.
That's the kind of pass that you don't need to make right now. You've got to make each possession count. You've got to start to get some kind of continuity and comfort on the offensive end.
Holtzclaw has the shot blocked by Lenhart. Knocked out of bounds by the Lady Vols.
2 observations. One, lots of individual plays right now by Tennessee, as well as they're crowding each other in the key. You see the way they're collapsing. Their spacing is not good offensively.
And they really need a lot more room to maneuver with the athletes that they have. Catchings, a cross-court look. Illinois will run some time. Now Coleman left alone. Three-pointer, Katie Coleman.
Scouting report says she's the three-point shooter. Have to get a hand in her face.
Have to know where she is. 41-19. Tamika Catchings in traffic.
Ooh.
Another close call.
Katie Coleman was definitely there before Catchings made her move, but whether she was stationary or not, I don't know. That could have really been called either way.
Second foul on Katie Coleman. Tamika Catchings will go back to the line, where she is 5 of 6 here in the first half. Tennessee coming in averaging 84 points a game. They have outscored their opponents by an average of 32 per game. And they have been held to just 21 here in the first half. You can see Summit's mind working there over on the bench and what they need to try and change after the intermission. Catchings now has 10. Ranking and Bergeron out top. There's a matchup of Catchings on Catchings right now on the man-to-man defense. And the pass between the legs of Lenhart.
No foul. Teresa Grentz knows that's the key right now.
Shot clock is off. Backdoor cut Randall. And Grentz did not like the foul call at all on Melissa Parker.
They've got this backdoor move down pat. And with the quickness of Randall, there's no foul there. There's no way that's a foul.
So Samika Randall to the free throw line. The freshman from Cleveland, a 2-time Ohio Miss Basketball, and that is her first point of the night.
Here we go!
0 for 5 from the floor in the game, 2 for 2 though from the stripe. Full court Lady Vol pressure. Ranking in trouble and knocked out of bounds. Tennessee will get it.
It's a chance for Tennessee to take a little bit of momentum into the locker room with them. They don't need the big play, they just need the good shot.
Randall behind the back, in trouble in the paint, blocked again by Lenhart. As time expires, 41-24 Illinois. The Fighting Illini have led by as many as 21 points. Ashley Bergeron with 7. Katie Coleman has 10 to lead the way for Illinois at the half.
The only 3 assists in that first half. It shows that there's a lot of individual play going on, Beth. And then the points in the paint. Tennessee only had 12. Illinois had 22 points in the paint. Second chance points. Illinois had 11. Tennessee had none.
Zip. The Lady Vols also only had 2 fast break points. They love to run with it. Coleman, Parker, Sheeler, Vasey, and Catchings starting out for Illinois in blue. Elsie, Holsclaw, Jolly, Tamika Catchings, and Stevens in white for Tennessee. Lady Vols almost got a takeaway. Instead, Sheeler will walk with it, so Tennessee will get it anyways.
This is where Illinois has to be very careful that they don't give Tennessee even an inch to get the momentum back to their side.
Sheeler saw limited playing time in the first half where Illinois was in foul trouble. You want to certainly keep her out on the floor a little more. Holtzclaw, fade away is good.
You can't play better defense than that. You had two players right there contesting that shot. Nothing to do about it.
Coleman driving baseline, around and out, rebound Tennessee.
Coleman had a clear shot, but I'm not sure it's a shot Illinois wants. They really want to take the air out of the balloon of this Tennessee offense. And you do that by making them play half court.
Stevens can't hold on to it, taken away by Illinois. And Melissa Parker will settle things down for the Fighting Illini. Working it inside, Sheeler over Stevens, air ball. Holtzclaw has the defensive rebound. Holtzclaw, the best offensive performer for Tennessee against Taja Catchings, the best defender for Illinois. Jolly can't find any room, gets it back to Tamika Catchings. Stevens turnaround. And a holding foul called on Illinois. It's going to be the second on Taja Catchings.
Tennessee, I think, wants to show themselves and everyone else around the country that they can play in the half court. That is the rap right now, is that, you know, they want to run because they don't have a strong post game. And yet they definitely have to be able to prove mostly to themselves that they're quite comfortable in the half court, because a lot of teams, after watching the first half of this game, are going to have a similar game plan. So they're going to see it a lot.
Tennessee thought they had come up with the turnover. Illinois will keep it.
Lots of boos in the arena on this call. They all thought that Parker kicked the ball after it was mishandled. Did you see it?
I think they may have been right.
Yeah, that's a break for Illinois. Tennessee has to increase the intensity in this half-court defense. Go for more steals, put a little more pressure on Parker at the point position.
Well, one of the things that Summit was saying prior to the game was she wasn't surprised with the talent level, but she was surprised with how much they love to play defense, this freshman class that has come in. And Parker was on the sideline. It's because she was pushed by Randall.
That was a little bit of a late whistle basket. It was interesting. The push did occur, but it wasn't until Katie Coleman starts walking the tightrope of that sideline that the referee blew her whistle. I honestly think it was a good call, but it was a late call.
It's the third foul on Randall. Vasey's pass intercepted. Here comes Tennessee. Holtzclaw, pull up on the baseline.
Illinois could use a timeout soon. They're letting the crowd back in the game, too, which is a tremendous advantage.
And a good call by Teresa Grinch. She does get the timeout. Just over 2.5 minutes gone here in the second half. The Lady Vols trying to creep back into it. They trailed by as many as 21 points in the first half.
Good move by Teresa Grinch. You don't need a full timeout. You just need the 20 seconds to calm them down, settle them down. Watch for Ashley Berggren to perhaps take control of things on the floor. And when I say take control of things, I'm not talking about try to do it all herself. I'm talking about what I keep alluding to the first game, because Stephanie White did such an outstanding job of just controlling what she and her teammates did.
Berggren, the Big Ten Player of the Year last year, the preseason selection this season. She's got the ball in traffic, looks to dish to Sheeler. Sheeler's pass taken away. Jeter with the deflection. Swinging around to Kelly Jolly. Tamika Catchings, short on the 3. Good decision by Coleman not to push it up the floor. Illinois will walk it across midcourt.
A couple of things that we're seeing in this second half that we didn't see in the first. Taja Catchings is not nearly as aggressive offensively, or at least hasn't had her hands on the ball yet. And the second thing is, Alicia Sheeler is tentative. She was definitely not tentative at the start of this game.
The foul charge to Tamika Catchings. That is her second on the shot from Berggren. Now, Sheeler had to sit a lot with the 3 fouls, and she will, in fact, come out now, replaced by Casey Leonhardt. He played well in the first half with 5 points. And Berggren to the free throw line. 3 of 4 from the stripe. Senior from Barrington, Illinois. Gets both. She now has 9. 43-28 Illinois. Post ball double team. Gets it to Jeter in the paint. And Jeter is shot in and out. And Tamika Catchings fouled on the offensive putback.
You can see what's happening with Tennessee. Jeter actually had the shot out at the elbow of the key, but opted to put the ball on the floor. Got the bad roll there, but nice positioning by Catchings. And again, just an aggressive mindset offensively. There's no way she's taking that ball out. There's no way she's looking for a teammate. She's going right back up.
She's 6 of 7 from the line. Make it 7 of 8. Catchings is second right now in the SEC in block shots. You know, she can get up in the air. Her freshman teammate, Teresa Jeter, is first in the SEC in block shots. In fact, across the SEC, there have been several freshmen of impact that are leading in some of the statistical categories, including the Miller sisters down at Georgia. Catchings gets both. He now has a dozen as Tennessee creeps a little bit closer. Dangerous for Berggren to pick up the dribble way out on top.
This is what you expect to see from Tennessee. Much more aggressive in the half-court defense.
Taja Catchings.
And that's what you hope for if you're Teresa Grants, is Taja Catchings still is alert offensively.
She's in the right place and the right time on that play. She's got 8.
Ashley Berggren putting her hand over her eye, got hit in the last possession.
Casey Leonhardt had the block. Berggren appears to be all right. Parker will pull up, nails the 3 or third of the game.
You got to understand, Melissa Parker, and she's got smiles all over that face of hers. She averaged 20 minutes a game last year. She started at the point position for a number of games. This year, only played 2 games of the 6, averaged 12 minutes in those 2 games. And Teresa Grant, as they're coming over, she saw Parker jumping up and down, and she put her hands down and said, now just, you know, don't get too
long way to go.
Juncture. Right. It's that big C word.
Kelly Jolly fouled on the drive, and that is going to be on Ashley Berggren, and that will be her 3rd personal. Her playing time was limited earlier in the season, that big game against Old Dominion with 4 fouls. So she has to be careful.
Talk about the job that Teresa Grant has done at Illinois. Until last year when they made their first ever Sweet 16, they had 10 consecutive losing seasons. Teresa came in with a game plan, just flat out told everybody and anybody that would listen, we're going to do it. We're going to win a national championship, and here's how we're going to do it. And fortunately, the players bought into that. She didn't have to wait till she brought her own recruits in. Oh, geez.
Katie Coleman hustling after the loose ball. We'll be back to Knoxville after this.
Is the ability to recognize recognize when she's open. She knows not to take that one dribble too many, and she knows when to pull up when the help defense is coming from the weak side. She's got a great instinct for the timing and the spacing for her scoring opportunities.
Right now trying to find a way to get everybody involved offensively. Tamika Randall. But Tennessee has had some pretty good looks in the second half. They just have not had good luck. The shots are rolling around and out.
And Beth, Tamika Randall, and this is where Pat Summitt, there's not much he can do. She talked about not wanting to overcoach his team. It's the kind of thing they have to play their way out of. Tamika Randall has had some great penetration moves, but hasn't been able to finish on the shot. Those are the kinds of things that will definitely come, and they may even come later in this game.
That foul, the third on Casey Lenhart. She's got 3. Sheeler has 3. Vasey has 3. Berggren has 3. First point of the game for Teresa Jeter, the Miss Basketball in South Carolina last year.
Ball State 3 times.
Some pressure being applied after the make. Berggren. Tennessee getting the hands in the passing lanes. Catchings. Uncontested baseline jumper won't go. Her sister has the rebound. Tamika Randall, pull-up jumper is good.
I just knew if I talked about Tamika Randall that she would get hot.
She now has 4. Ranking in trouble, and she walks with it.
There was a little bumping going on this sideline here.
Those calls will be a little tougher to come by for the visitors in the second half.
Krista Ranking wondering, what's a girl have to do? I run up the sideline, I get bumped out of bounds.
Berggren on Tamika Catchings. Catchings, 3-pointer.
Shades of Shaniqua Holmstrom and her recognition of her opportunities.
Deficit is down to 11 now for Tennessee.
And now the Catchings sisters are guarding one another. Tamika Catchings is hurt.
She is off the floor holding her knee. Play continues at the other end. And Randall is fouled on the drive, and Catchings makes her way back down to this end of the floor.
Tamika Catchings looked like she stepped on the foot of her sister as she was being guarded.
That's the 4th foul on Casey Lenhart. We'll take another look at what happened at the other end.
And as Randall takes the ball and surveys the opportunity here, a nice block, and Randall keeps the ball. But on second thought,
she's fired up.
There's no lack of emotion on this squad.
Tamika Catchings will tough it out. She is still out there on the court. And now it looks like she will come to the sideline, replaced by Shaniqua Holdsclaw. She goes down to the end of the bench to talk with the trainer. Randall gets a couple. It's a 9-0 Tennessee run.
This is an important possession for Illinois because they haven't gotten a good look.
And Katie Coleman was desperately trying to call the timeout. Instead, she's whistled for the walk.
Trying to call. You know, I'll tell you, I'm not sure she kept that left foot, at least the left heel, down. She really didn't move that one. The right foot, yeah, that moved some. But that left heel never moved from where it was. I'm not sure that that was a walking call. But what a heads-up play by Katie Coleman to try to call a timeout. She knew, only a sophomore, she knew that this was an important possession for Illinois. Tennessee on a run, they've got to stop that. And they haven't gotten a good look recently. They needed a good offensive possession.
Well, this has been Tennessee's MO all year, wearing people down in the second half. They trailed by 17 at halftime and now are within 9. Illinois shooting just 22% in the second half. Holsclaw short on the turnaround. Tarja Catchings with the rebound.
It's all about getting the right shot, and it's also about Tennessee increasing their defensive intensity in the half court.
Parker again able to handle the pressure. Nice backdoor cut by Coleman.
And that's usually what's open. When you see that kind of pressure in the half court, if you can just keep your wits about you, you usually can get a backdoor or a nice pick and roll off of that.
Big bucket for Illinois to end the run. Jolly looking for Randall.
Now this is a key stop for them as well. To try to take this crowd. The crowd has really become a factor on this run.
Randall spinning away from the defense and is called for the walk.
This, we talked about it being an important possession, and again, credit Parker with the presence of mind to see the backdoor cut, see the court, and get the ball where it's needed.
Jolly with the steal in the bucket, and now another steal for Tennessee. Jolly sights up the three. It's good.
Illinois could use a full timeout right now.
Pressure got to Illinois those 2 possessions. And now Tennessee is all fired up.
You've got to do something to quiet this crowd. And whether that's a timeout or whether it's a possession where you score, something has to be done.
Held ball.
See, that's not good enough, Beth, because the ball now goes to Tennessee. The crowd gets even louder.
Prince is livid on the sideline. She wanted a foul. Instead, Illinois will take a timeout. Tennessee is making its run.
Continue to keep this crowd as a factor.
14-2 in the last 3.5 minutes. It's a 20-9 run since halftime. And an offensive foul called on Tennessee.
Well, that's a big call. That is a big call, because had Jeter's basket gone in, this, again, we keep talking about the crowd, but it's deafening in here. And the way Jeter used their elbow to push off, that shot went in, that would have really sent the crowd.
Another held ball, this time the arrow pointing Illinois' way.
And Ashley Bergman right there with Melissa Parker, trying to calm things down, trying to get her team settled.
They have been feeling the heat from this Tennessee pressure. Catchings gets it to Parker. Tennessee double teaming all over the place now. Bergman on the drive and the basket.
Oh, was that a big play? Was that a big play? Just what the team needed when it needed it.
11 now for Bergman.
Let's see how Tennessee reacts. See if they can grab that momentum once again.
Randall goes baseline, gets the basket. He's got 8.
Sneaker Randall starting to put together the move and the finish. Oh, you know, you never want to try to throw over a player that's as tall as you or taller.
Taking away Randall with the deflection, now with the ball. All the way for the layup. Tennessee's defense has just been spectacular here in this second half. 9th Illinois turnover this half. Make it 10. Elzy. Foul by Parker.
That's a good foul by Melissa Parker to stop Elzy from getting the quick, easy basket. This press is just killing Illinois right now. They've got to find some kind of answer to that. They had little trouble with it in the first half. Again, they just have to keep their composure because when there's a double on them, you got to know that somebody's free, but you also have to come to meet the ball.
The Illinois players wondering how many Lady Vols are out on the floor. Seems like there's 7 or 8 of them. Taja Catchings trying to go by her sister. And she is fouled by Tamika. That's her 3rd personal.
The sign of a really good team. The great teams, Beth, are the ones that can find a way to win even when they're not on top of their game. I'd have to say that Tennessee was definitely not on top of their game tonight. And they found a way to cut a 20-plus point deficit to within 2.
Taja Catchings comes up short on the free throw.
This is a key juncture in this game. If Illinois doesn't find a way just to maintain their composure and to do what they did so effectively in the first half, Tennessee could go from being 20-some points down to being 20-some points up before this game is over.
In a hurry. Kristen Clement, freshman from the Philadelphia area, back on the floor for Tennessee. Slowly getting some more playing time. Randall misses. Elsie will go to the line.
You know what Tennessee is doing so well right now that they didn't do in that first half is getting 2nd and 3rd shots. They're hitting the offensive boards.
Coleman now has 4 personals. She's got 12 points in the game, and now Elsie hits on the first. Kyra Elsie has 6.
And Kyra Elsie played with Catchings, Tamika Catchings, Clement, and Tamika Randall on the junior national team, so they were all very familiar with one another when the freshmen arrived on campus.
Illinois' 17-point halftime deficit is gone. Holtzclaw after the block. The dish to Randall. And Randall walked with it. That's one of the few times Shamika Holtzclaw missed an open player.
And I got to tell you, something I've noticed in Pat Summitt's demeanor, she is rarely chastising players this year. She's very encouraging. She realizes they've got to play through some things. I think her ire is now directed towards the referees, to be honest with you. It's not her own players anymore.
Catchings. She's fouled by Ashley Berggren.
Pat Summitt having a conversation with Nan Sisk on the sideline right now.
Berggren joins Coleman with 4 personal fouls. And Illinois just trying to hold on. 9.5 minutes still to go. And Tennessee has tied it up. First time since we were tied at 8 apiece. And the Lady Vols have retaken the lead.
Ashley Berggren just did something very smart. She knew there was some moisture, perspiration on the floor. So she had the referee go and wipe it up to give her teammates a chance just to settle themselves. Now she's encouraging them, talking to them, and now the press has backed off some. Good heads-up play by Ashley Berggren.
Now they've got to deal with the Lady Vols for 45 instead of 94. Another Tennessee takeaway. Clement.
The biggest mistake that Illinois has been making this second half is trying to throw over people. Just take a step around, pass the ball around. Stop trying to throw through them.
Tennessee by 3. They've outscored Illinois 32-12 since halftime. And we will be back to Knoxville after this.
You know, if there was ever a time that Illinois believed in themselves, it needs to be right now. With their foul situation and the crowd and Tennessee taking the first lead of the game, they really need to get back to the basics of what got them that lead to begin with.
Baseline jumper off the mark from Sheeler. Taja Catchings, the putback won't go. Tamika Catchings to Clement, up and under, gets the bucket.
Illinois has to stop this from being a running game. If they let Tennessee get on track right now, they could potentially lose by 20-some points, as I said earlier. They've got to take it back to a half-court game.
Taja Catchings is fouled by Shamika Holsclaw.
If nothing else, just trade baskets with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Just don't let them go on one of their runs. A team that likes to run, a team that likes to press, is a team that scores in spurts.
Third personal on Holsclaw. Parker shot blocked by Tamika Catchings. Turnover for Tennessee. Randall doesn't get it to go. Catchings has the rebound. And Ace Clement will reset. Tennessee with 24 points off of turnovers now. Holsclaw doesn't get it to go. Fights for another shot, and it's good.
Tennessee already has more offensive boards in this half than they had the entire first half. Doing a much better job of giving themselves second and third opportunities.
Incredible turnaround here in the second half for Tennessee. In serious trouble, trailing by 21 points. And they have come roaring back and are now up by 9 over Illinois.
Ashley Bergman and Teresa Grant looking for answers. Illinois has got to understand that no one player is going to be able to do it themselves. When you face that kind of pressure, we've talked about it before, you've got to use one another more than anything else. Set the picks, make the backdoor cuts, come to the basketball when there's pressure on the ball handler.
The third person on Kyra Elzy.
And make your baskets, make the points when the shot, or when the clock rather, is stopped.
13 for Katie Coleman. Tamika Randall goes out. Kelly Jolly is in.
These free throws are going to be so important because this is a chance to take a shot when there is no pressure on you.
Coleman now with 14 to lead Illinois in the scoring department. Jolly has the shot blocked by Alicia Sheeler, who's been very quiet, has not scored in this second half for Illinois.
That's been a big difference because you know what a factor she was in that first half, at least getting her hands on the ball constantly. So Tennessee had to play the half-court game and had to play that post defense.
32-6 run in the last 8 minutes. Catchings on fire. She's got 20 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double for the freshman. Bergman on the drive. Gets her own rebound, keeps it alive for Taja Catchings, and it's Tamika Catchings with the board.
In that first half, I'd have to say that Taja Catchings really got the edge on her sister in terms of performance. And in this second half, Tamika has really lit up the scoreboard as well as doing a nice job on her sister defensively.
She's come alive. She's got it again. Sheeler has the rebound. Illinois trying to get back on track. A little shell-shocked here by this Tennessee run. And the whistle will go against the Lady Vols. Clement whistled for the foul. Our Chrysler storyline, 25 Illinois turnovers. Fine performance from Katie Coleman tonight with 14 points. For Tennessee, they have exploded here in this second half. 38-12 since halftime, and a double-double for Tamika Catchings, the Chrysler storyline.
Illinois been plagued by turnovers all season. They averaged 21. Tennessee forcing their opponents into 25, so they are already there with Illinois in this game.
Taja Catchings, an all Big Ten freshman selection last year, has worked hard on her offensive skills. She's got 11. 65-57 Tennessee. Just one Illinois field goal in the last 7 minutes. Elsie loses the handle.
Alicia Sheeler has to become a factor in the remaining minutes of this game for Illinois to have a shot.
Berggren fouled by Holtzclaw. That is number 4 on Chamique Holtzclaw now.
The strength of this Illinois team is in their balance. They've got 5 players averaging in double figures and more than 5 players averaging over 5 rebounds per game. That's very impressive. That's their strength. They need to go to that. No one player can be looked to carry the load here, and that's why Alicia Sheeler once again has to become a factor, as does everyone on the floor.
You really don't see that very often, 5 players in double figures like that.
No, the other thing that's impressive is the 5 over 5 rebounds. Usually you've got 2, maybe 3 players that are your key rebounders, but here you've got 5 players that are contributing significantly from every position.
13 now for Berggren off the bench. Holtzclaw over Berggren. Rebound comes down to Sheeler. Taja Catchings, pull-up jumper. Not really the shot Illinois wanted there. Quickly the other way, Kyra Elsie. She can't finish.
Ashley Berggren doing the right thing. She was in the right position, but greater leaping ability on Tennessee's part got them that rebound. I'll tell you, it was rebounding in the first half that stopped Tennessee. It wasn't even the Illinois defense as much as it was the rebounding that prevented Tennessee from running their game plan. Or running period.
Yeah, they didn't have many easy layups in the first half. They have had plenty in the second. Elsie can't convert. Teresa Jeter. And Jeter called for the over-the-back foul. That's the 3rd on Teresa Jeter. More basketball on the Deuce tomorrow at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It's the UNLV Running Rebels and the Rhode Island Rams. ESPN2 NCAA basketball tomorrow night.
When I talked about Sheeler becoming a factor or being a factor in the latter part of this game, I wasn't talking so much about points, Beth, as the rebounding position that she just was in to be able to get that free throw situation.
Missed an opportunity there to get a couple of big points. Jolly coming to get the ball out on top. Elsie, baseline jumper, good. 9 points all in the second half.
This is the real, that's a kick. This is the real test for Illinois right now, the last 3:45 of this game. Because now is when they have to prove themselves that they're not just going to let it go back to Tennessee.
For 5th-ranked Illinois, Tamika Catchings leading the charge in the second half for the Lady Vols.
And really contributing what the team needs when they need it. Big buckets, big defensive plays. When I talked about her sister maybe getting the edge in the first half, Tamika's stats were actually better than Taja's, but Taja seemed to provide her team what they needed at the time. She was aggressive offensively. Tamika is doing that now for her team in this second half. She had 10 of those 20 points in the first half, but they're what I would call quiet points because they didn't necessarily come at key times.
Tennessee trailing by 21 in the first half. They have erupted in the second half to retake the lead. The timeout situation and the team fouls. Tennessee does get the possession on a held ball. Kicked out of bounds by Holtzclaw.
how Illinois reacts to the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It will be the true test of their character. Teresa Grants viewed this game as a win-win situation. You know, they're ranked number 5, Tennessee's number 1. There isn't anybody that expected them to come in here and beat this team. But as long as they don't, they may walk away with a victory, but if they do walk away with a defeat, as long as they don't just hand it to Tennessee.
Well, Grants has certainly put together challenges for her team this year. The schedule includes, immediately after this game, preparing for Stanford, the next opponent on the schedule.
We mentioned this in the first game, but again, condolences to the Vanderveer family. As Kelly Jolly hits from the outside, Tara Vanderveer's father passed away a little over a week ago, and we all send our best wishes and condolences to Tara and her family.
Jumper, Taja Ketching's good. She now has 13. Tennessee by 9. Almost an exact turnaround in the field goal shooting from the first half to the second half.
Tennessee getting much better looks because a lot of them are second chance points, short chip shots, or points off a transition.
Randall through all kinds of traffic, and you knew the offensive foul call was coming when she took off. That's her 4th.
Tamika Randall, a great creator, but she's going to have to learn when to just pull it up for the short jumper instead of trying to take it all the way.
That was Taja Ketchings who took the charge. You know, those Ketchings girls aren't going to give up ground without a fight.
That's a shame. That was a very nice move by Taja Ketchings. Didn't get the roll, but again, attacked the basket. This is actually a really great game for Tennessee as well. Not that they haven't had great games against Louisiana Tech and others, but the fact that this Illinois team just won't go away, that they just can't seem to put them away the way they would be able to with most teams. This will serve them well.
They definitely learned something about themselves and
Tamika
some of the
Ketchings
things they have to do.
Excuse me, but Tamika Ketchings is hurting. I'm not sure if it's her knee or her ankle. She seems to be holding her knee.
Hurt her knee, it looked like in the first half, came out of the game briefly. Now it looks like she's holding an ankle.
It looks like her right ankle. You can see that she turned that as she was playing defense on Berggren. Very slow to get up. And slow to walk off the court.
Father Harvey Ketchings looking on. Tamika has 20 points and 13 rebounds here tonight. If the Lady Vols can maintain the lead, we may not see her again this evening, so she can rest that sore knee and ankle. And then she's got to go home and study. She's got 2 final exams tomorrow.
Talk about a rough schedule. Tennessee's got to face their exams, and they go on the road to Alaska. And you go on the road to Alaska, but you have no exams, so I don't feel sorry for you.
I'll be up there with them. In fact, you can see Tennessee perhaps playing in the Northern Lights Invitational up in Anchorage. ESPN will have that game. And a potential matchup against Wisconsin, and the Badgers right now unbeaten. In fact, 3 games next weekend on ESPN. We talked a little about Stanford earlier. Stanford will be playing against UConn Sunday afternoon, and Iowa will meet Vanderbilt. So plenty of women's hoops next weekend on ESPN2 and ESPN.
Beth, we mentioned the job that Teresa Grants has done, but Pat Summitt is just untouchable. I'm telling you, it's almost incredulous what it's incredulous what she has done. It's 5 titles in 23 years of coaching. Only John Wooden has had more national titles, coached more Olympians, more All-Americans.
Couple of looks for Illinois, cannot put it down, and Tennessee will get it. Yeah, the stats are just phenomenal, and that one perhaps most impressive. That is elite company right there that Summit is a part of.
And a very key stat that every player that has ever played for Pat Summitt has made it to at least one Final Four. 14 Final Fours in 21 years, 21 straight 20-plus seasons, 8 of the last 12.
And expectations are high that they will be back this year. Holtzclaw fouled by Berggren, and Ashley Berggren is fouled out of the game.
That 8 of the last 12 is 8 Final Fours in the last 12 seasons. Ace Clement, nice dish off here to Chamique Holtzclaw, going up strong, and Ashley Berggren, as you would expect, going off the court fighting with her 5th foul.
Fierce competitor, leaves the game with 16 points, 17 points make that tonight. Had a couple of rebounds as well. And now Chamique Holtzclaw, 19 points and 8 boards in the game. Ranking hoist up to 3. Holtzclaw looking to feed Randall, can't hold it out of bounds. Tennessee will go to 10-0 and hold on to that #1 ranking. Illinois drops its 2nd straight. They will be 4-3 with Stanford looming next on the schedule.
As Teresa Grentz pointed out before the game, this has definitely been a win-win situation for both teams.
Tamika Randall leaves the game. She has fouled out. 13 points for Chamique to go along with 2 boards. Handful of steals and deflections as well for her on the defensive end. And Krista Rankin goes to the free throw line. Rankin, a 5'9" senior from Decatur, Indiana. That's her first point of the night. Defense by Katie Coleman coming up with a block. She has had an impressive performance tonight as Katie Coleman. This is a sophomore. She's fouled by Ace Clement. That's the 2nd foul on her. Clement, another one of the heralded freshmen who has been limited in playing time due to a stress fracture in her right foot. Has been seeing more and more playing time in recent days, though, for the University of Tennessee.
Ace Clement got her nickname from her brother and his friends when she started playing basketball at a very early age. And then the nickname stuck through the years as she played on some other teams, soccer team in particular, where there were lots of players named Kristen. So they needed a nickname, and she said, well, sometimes I'm called Ace, and it's stuck ever since.
Ace doesn't get that one to go, but Tennessee blew up in the 2nd half, and they end up with the 78-68 win. They had just 24 points at halftime. And Illinois could not stop them in the 2nd half as Pat Summitt and company run out to their 10th win of the season. And they win it 78-68. Ashley Berggren leading the way for Illinois. She had 16. Katie Coleman with 15. 4 different Lady Vols in double figures, including 20 from Tamika Catchings. And we'll be back to Knoxville right after this.
deficit, a big deficit. What did you feel like going into halftime?
We know that we didn't play Tennessee basketball. We lacked the defensive intensity. So coming out in the second half, coaches really wanted us to get up the line on Denal and put a lot of ball pressure.
Now, I noticed that Pat had you by the arm as you were walking into the locker room. What was she telling you at that point?
I mean, she knows that I like to compete, and she just told me, Meek, you know, you have to look to score, stop passing the ball so much, and you know, just play better defense. And I think I came out in the second half and tried to do what I was capable of doing, you know, helping the team in any area that I could.
For your own game in that first half, did you just feel you were off? Did you feel Illinois was doing a nice job of stopping you? What was the problem?
I mean, you go out there, you want to be confident, but if the other team is playing good defense, you take it as it is. You know, you just go out there and try to get into your game, and I just try to do that. They play great defense, and they really played a good game.
Let's switch over to one of the younger Meeks on the team, Tamika, the much ballyhooed matchup with your sister, Taja. How did it feel to play?
It felt good, you know, watching her play and having to play defense on her. You know, I haven't done that in a long time, you know. And I realized how quick she really was, you know, when she kept going by me. But, you know, I think we both played a real good game.
In that first half, Taja was very aggressive offensively, which is something you don't always see from her. Was that a surprise to you?
Not really, you know. My sister's always up for big games. And this game, you know, she came to play, and she wanted to win bad, you could tell.
According to your dad, she's always up to play against you, too, especially in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
In the second half, you seemed to really provide the team the points and the rebounds and the big defensive plays when they were needed. Did you have a talking with yourself at halftime, or was what Pat said to you?
I think it was more of a talk with myself, you know. I just knew that, you know, I wanted to step it up. I wanted our team to win this game. You know, I didn't want to go home with a loss. I wanted to stay undefeated.
Well, I, for one, was anxiously awaiting this game just to see you guys in person, and you definitely came through. Congratulations. Good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And, Beth, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Mimi. 78-68, the final.
Lady Texters. Panachero, of course, leading the way in the backcourt with Eblin. Then the front line of Roberts, Diaz, and Andrade.